So welcome everybody to my next project, which is going to be a breakdown / guide about Raidou in DOA6. Before I start my first topic, which is his safe moves, I wanna stress out that I'm not going to do a full video. I'm going to make it separate videos, so I don't want you to get bored after more than 10 minutes listening to my voice. Also, if you enjoy this video and it helped you with trying to get into Raidou or learning him better, so please leave a like and a comment down below telling me that it really helped you. Also, if you want to see more Raidou content on my channel, please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying my best to fill the Raidou content for the DOA community, and yeah, I hope I can help you with learning Raidou or getting into it. So we start with Raidou safe moves. Raidou has only 64 moves in DOA6 unfortunately, and 22 moves are safe from his 64 moves. Now we start with the first one, which is his jab. That is 11 frames, it's -1 on block, and it's a high. Then you have the next one, which is PPK, which is 19 frames the last kick, and it's -5 on block, and the last kick is in mid. Before I go on, if you're not familiar with the punishment in DOA, you throw punish instead of strike punish. That means if you're negative a lot, you will get throw punish instead of getting strike punish. To give you a little clue, in DOA6 you have striking characters and you have grapplers. Striking characters have 5-frame neutral throws, which can be broken, and they have 7-frame forward throws or 60s, which are guaranteed that they cannot be broken. And the grapplers have 1 frame faster grappling speed, so 4 frames neutral throw and 6 frames and 60 or forward throw. But in order to land those moves, you need 1 more additional frame. So for example, like with this, if you're -5, grappler can throw punish it with neutral throw, but it's not guaranteed because it can be broken. Because they need this 1 more additional frame, so 4-frame neutral throw with this 1 more additional frame, it becomes 5 frames, so it works perfectly. With, for example, with a striking character, it would have been it needed to be -6 on block, so they can get neutral throw punishment. Now the next one is going to be his PPPP, which you have to charge the last hit at the end. It's 43 frames. It gives you +4 on block, and the last hit is obviously embed. So the next one, which gives him also plus frames, and it is from his jab string, is PP6PP, which is 39 frames, which also have to be charged to get the plus frames. It gives you +8 on block, and the last hit is also a mid. Now this is going to be his last move that is safe or gives him plus frames from his jab string, which is PP4PK, and this is the last kick there is 30 frames. It gives you +2 on block, and it's a mid also the last kick, so it's really good. So he has a lot of good moves from his jab string, or he's more focused on his jab string. You have to focus on his jab string a lot. Then the next move that is not anymore from his jab string is 9P. It's 14 frames, it's -5 on block, so grapplers can neutral throw it, and it's a hard. That means if somebody does a move that is a high crush, this move will whiff. Then you have his 6 PP, which is 23 frames, and it's -3 on block, and also the last hit there is a mid, and the 6P here is also a mid. So a mid, which is probably the best mid because Hayate and Momiji have the same move, and theirs are unsafe, being -11 on block. So, and Raidou with -3 on block is pretty good. You're still at minus, but at least you're safe from getting throw punished. The next one is 6PK, which is 15 frames the last kick there, and it's also a mid, and the kick there tracks. So this is tracking, this tracks, the 6P doesn't track, but this kick there and tracks, and it's -7 on block, and it can get thrown punished by grapplers. They can neutral throw it or do a 6T forward grab, and striking characters can neutral throw it. But if you do it, for example, from tip range, you can make it one less frame. That means it becomes -6, so they can only get neutral throw out of this move. The next one is 4PK. It's -4 on block, and it's 19 frames, and the last kick is also a mid. And the first one here tracks, so the kick doesn't track, but the 4P before that tracks. The good thing about this move is, even though it's -4 on block, it pushes the opponent away from you a bit, so you space the opponent, I could say, with this. And for example, if you throw it from distance, like from this distance here, and you can create more, you can have space instead of being in front of your opponent. The next one is going to be his 3P. This is also -7 on block, and it's a 15 frame mid. So it can be punished by grapplers with a neutral throw with a 6T, and striking characters can neutral throw it with 5T. But you can make it like the 6PK, or I could say any move from tip range becomes 1 frame less. Some move even become less frames minus, so this you can make this to -6 on tip range, so this becomes only neutral throw punishable. And now you're hearing that you get a lot of neutral throw, but like I said before, it's not guaranteed. You can break out of it. Neutral throws in DOA are not guaranteed in DOA6. You can throw escape them. Now the next one is his 1PP, the last punch is 28 frames, it gives you -4 on block, and it's a mid. Also, this entire string tracks, so the 1P here tracks, and the follow-up also tracks. It's a really good move. I mean, it's not like 4PK, you space your opponent a little bit, but if they go for a sidestep, this will obviously catch them, and you will get damage, and it's -4 on block, so you're safe. The next one is going to be 2P, which is one of his best lows. I could even say this is one of the best lows in DOA6 because it's 13 frames and it's -4 on block, yeah. And on hit it gives you +1. And on counter hit you get +8. So this also being a safe move is pretty good. I mean, it doesn't track, but if this would have tracked, this would be a ridiculous low. And probably a really good help for Raidou. Now, the next one is going to be his KK. Raidou is one of the few characters who has an extension after his kick, and the last kick is 23 frames. It's -4 on block, and the entire strength is a high, so it's a high. I mean, it doesn't give you plus frames, but at least you're safe. And because it's a high, if somebody does a crushing high crush, this move will obviously whiff. And the good thing about this is if you do a K and your opponent wants to do a move after that, you can follow it up, because you can also delay the kick. So if they try to hit you after the K, they will get hit by this K. So the next one, which is one of his get in moves, is 6 XP. It's 18 frames, -4 on block, and it's a mid. And the positive thing about this is it covers space. That's why it's a good get in move. So the next one is going to be his EWGF, or his Electric, which is a 14 frames launcher. It's a high, it's -6 on block. So that means it can get punished by grapplers and strike characters with 5T. But the good thing about this Electric is after you land your Electric there, you immediately recover. So after your Electric, for example, you can go with another move you like. For example, the difference between the Electric and 9P is you have to wait till the animation ends, and with the Electric you can immediately do something after the Electric lands. So the next move is going to be his that is safe, is quarter circle forward kick. It's 18 frames, -1 block, but the only big problem with this is it's a high, so anybody who does a high crush is going to evade that. But the positive thing about this is it covers a lot of space. I could say even use this as a get-in move, and then it's 18 frames, so it's a really fast kick. The next one is going to be this quarter circle back kick, which is 40 frames, and you get +4 on block, and it's a mid. The only big issue, like 2 big issues with this move is, yeah, it takes 40 frames, which is a lot, and it doesn't unfortunately track. But landing this gives you +4 on block. That means your 6P becomes 9 frames, and your jab becomes 7 frames. So it's really good. And this is going to be now his last move that gives him plus frame, which is his projectile. It's a 62 frame move, which is chargeable up to 90 frames, and on close hit it will give you +5 on block, and from full screen you will get 26 frames. Yeah, you can make it from some distance, even guaranteed, if I'm not mistaken, but your opponent's back has to be at the wall. And yeah, unfortunately also you don't get any more plus frames even if you charge it. But the positive thing about this is it's a zoning tool, so you zone your opponent with this. Also it does more damage if you charge the projectile. And Raidou, with being the only characters in DOA6 who have a projectile, so they are the only 2 people who have projectiles. and it's a mid. Not like mice, which is a high, which can be crushed with a high crush. So you have to either block this, sidestep it, or hold it. So I could say it's a good zoning tool. Not the best, because mice is much better, but having this as a zoning tool to keep your opponent out is pretty good. Now we have our next move, which is from back turn, which is back turn P. This is 12 frames, so it's 1 frame slower than his normal jab. It's -2 on block, so you're 1 more minus than his jab, and it's also a high. The good thing about this is you can convert to your jab string after this. For example, you can do this, or you can do the other versions you like. So this is a good option, because some characters don't have some people can't do some into their jab strings after back turn P. So having that is really good. Now the next one is going to be his back turn 4P, which is 12 frames like his P back turns. It's -4 on block, so it's 2 more minus than back turn P, but it's a mid, so anybody who tries to high crush it will obviously get hit. And what else? This is his last option that is safe from Raidou, which is back turn 2P, which is also 13 frames, like from facing the opponent. It's -4 on block like his 2P, and it also is a low. The good thing is that he has access to it even from back turn, which can help him. If I'm not mistaken, this is also +1 on block and +8 on counter hit. So you have a good low from back turn as well. So that's going to be it for my first part of my breakdown / guide for Raidou. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like in the comment down below telling me that this really helped you. And if you like the content I produce, please subscribe to my channel. I'm fairly new at YouTube, so I'm trying to become a better content creator with more people I can entertain. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I see you at the next video. Take care everybody. Bye bye.